Hello everybody and welcome back to a new video. Today we're going to talk about how to do landscaping, building cliffs, making your builds look very pretty by using and creating your own natural environment. I'm going to walk you through how I build cliffs and just my general methodology for how I create organic structures, because I think that the overall step-by-step tutorial, I guess, is very applicable to different situations. For example, you could be building a river and most of the steps would still apply. So I'm going to do two types of cliffs because it's always variety. This is not a tutorial for how to make one type of cliff. This is a tutorial for how to, in general, make cliffs however you would like to make them. So we're just going to start by outlining the sort of area you want, or like the shape of your cliff, or if you're building a river, or another organic shape, just sort of outlining like on the floor 2D. And so we've got two different shapes here. They're very similar shapes, but they're going to be making two different cliffs. So once you've got this, if you were to do like something, I'm just going to do the front of these just to give you an idea, but if you were to do something else, you could also, like, if you're going to make the whole back section or make it like go from the bottom to the top of the cliff and make it like rise that way, you could outline the rest of that in grass. It doesn't really matter, you just want a sort of shape. Generally, when I'm making a cliff, I'm making it like on the side of another mountain, so all I'll need to do is this, and then connect it up with the original mountain. And then you want to build up one or two guiding poles up to the top of where you want your structure to be, to give yourself like a vertical reference point. So with this first cliff, I'm going to make it come outwards and sort of overhang a lot. But with the second cliff, I'm going to make it more like steep. And I think the steeper your cliff is going to be, the more you want it to sort of go inwards. You can build more than one or two. I might build a couple for this one, just because I think it will help me. So these don't particularly matter, it's just sort of outlining the shape and what you want your builds to look like. It's really easy. It makes it a lot easier if you build if you make a little sketch beforehand, so you understand what shape you're trying to create, and then you can sort of wireframe the shape in Minecraft, so that when you actually build the rest of it, you're sure that you will get a shape that is somewhat like what you have. You have a base shape that is correct to what you want it to be. Now at this point, all you want to do is just connect them through trial and error, right? So just start building and placing blocks and hope for the best, I guess. There's not really much advice I can give you at this point. Just connect it and make it look half decent, I guess. It is trial and error, and that's okay. It doesn't need to be perfect. Don't agonize over one block. Just keep going, and at the end it will become obvious what is working and what is not. And often you'll need to go back over what you outlined and fix it so that it fits the scale of your build, I guess. So I really underestimated how big this was going to be based on the height and whatnot. So I'm just going to create a little I'm just going to redo this bit and just sort of connect it up. So I've just sort of connected it up. It's not perfect. I'm not a fan of what's going on over here, but it's a thing, I guess. I don't think it's suited coming out like this, so we'll redo that a block back, and that just looks so much better. So yeah, this comes out like an overhang, and then I'll do this one, and this one isn't going to be overhang, and I'm only going to do the front part because it would be part of like a bigger cliff range, and that would take hours to do. And for this one, I'm even going to outline where I want the top of the cliff to be. So do a wireframe on the top of where I want it to all meet up. And so you can see with this one that the top isn't nearly as rounded, but I think that's okay because that's sort of what I was going for. I'm just going to add a little bit of overhang up here to round it off and bring this back a bit just to give it some depth. But now you've sort of trial and errored your way through it. If something doesn't look right, like over here, it's very straight, so I'm just going to add in some blocks down there. Maybe not, that doesn't look quite right. But I'll add in some more depth and stuff. So now it looks okay. You have a cliff face. But now what you want to do is add a top of dirt or moss, depending on what sort of look you're going for. So up here, I might add like some dirt coming down from the build, from the top of it, like that. And then I might put on some grass on the top. Something like that. And then just a little sort of hat up here with the grass. Something like that, and that's a sort of like okay looking cliff in a particular style, right? So it looks okay, it's not hideous, and it's maybe the shape I'm going for that particular type of cliff. It would look better if it was more rounded and it was part of like another sort of cliff structure, another like big mountain. But there you go, there's a top on it and there's a cliff with some top, I guess. But on here, maybe I would sort of line this with grass. Maybe go up another block with dirt. And then maybe I'll put grass on the top of this. And sort of avoid the jagged corners like that. And then maybe I would add some overhang like that with that. Or I could do this with moss, it doesn't really matter. I'm just using grass because it tends to work better with the natural environment, just because it will all look the same and you don't have to change your whole area to be mossy for it to look decent. But yeah, over here we added overhang so it comes out from the stone, but over here we made it part of the cliff, which is two different ways to do it, but they both look good in their own right and in their own like setting. And then for this one, because I have made it like its own standalone cliff, I will come over here and sort of make it become part of the floor, I guess, like connect it to the bottom. And that's honestly one of the hardest parts, is making it look right to do that. But again, it's just trial and error. And also when I step back, I look at this, I like over here, but I don't like over here because it's just one block and then you put one block up behind it and above it. So maybe I'm going to change these a little bit so that it looks like there is some more depth. Just like that. That even just a few blocks makes a world of difference. And then I'm gonna connect this all up. And then maybe put just one more layer on top of it. Just for some added depth and to make it look like it's not completely flat on top. And I haven't finished the back, but something like that, and it looks pretty good. And then once you're done with this, with just the general cliff face, you can add texturing, trees, mushrooms, mixes of plants, bushes, flowers, whatever you like. You could add dripstone and rooted dirt if you want to make it look dry and like sapped of water. But for rivers, you might want to add coral, seagrass, kelp, or even sea pickles. It really depends on what you're doing. So for this one, I'm just going to add a little bunch of flowers here and there. And ignoring that I have not finished the back, and I'm not going to, it looks pretty good. And then I'll add some azalea leaves because they're really nice. And just sort of put them on top, maybe add in some more overhang with those. And then that looks pretty good. It has some leaves, it has some flowers, and it has some shapes, some grass, it has greenery, it has all the things. This one I'm probably not going to add too much to. Maybe I'll add some rooted dirt just at the bottom to give it some sort of like a gradient into like looser dirt and make it feel like it's a little dry up there. But other than that, I don't think you need much more. If I were to continue this backwards, I might add like a tree up here with acacia wood. I might just add a quick tree. And I've made tutorials for how to make trees in the past, so I'm not going to go over it too much now. But just something like that. And then just some azalea leaves around it. And just something like that will just add some nature to the cliff, I guess. It's probably not a beautiful tree, but it's fine, I think. But yeah, once you've made your cliff, don't hesitate to add life to it. Add nature, add something that makes it feel alive, and it will just look so much better. I hope this video has helped you, and if it has, consider liking and subscribing. It means a lot. And I will see you very soon for another video.